Hi, I'm Kayla, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the fascinating Bermuda Triangle and whether or not you believe it's a mystery or a myth. The Bermuda Triangle has fascinated me for many years because of the stories, the disappearances, and the idea that something paranormal might be happening in this part of the ocean. The Bermuda Triangle is located in the Atlantic Ocean between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Even with it being widely known everywhere in the world, it's not officially recognized or a part of a map as a geographic location, and it cannot be found on a map. Um, the Bermuda Triangle was first recognized in the 1900s with articles and books and stories of ships and planes mysteriously disappearing over the years. The media and people made it more famous with their stories that happened over time, turning it into one of the biggest mysteries in the world, even to this day. The Bermuda Triangle is most famous for its unexplained disappearances. There have been reports of ships and airplanes that have went missing without warning. In some of the stories, there have never been any wreckage found, and no explanations as to what has happened. Um, and because of this, many people started to believe their own theories of what was going on at the Bermuda Triangle. Some base things on science, some place things on their imagination. Um, some ideas were that there were time traps or magnetic forces or paranormal, even extraterrestrial beings. But now let's talk about some of the famous cases. All right. One of the most talked about cases is Flight 19. In 1945, 5 U.S. Navy planes were on a training mission. During this flight, the pilots reported that their navigation wasn't working properly, and they were unsure of their exact location at the time. Um, but communication was eventually completely lost. A rescue plane was sent out to try to find these planes, and the plane that was sent out to try to find that plane was also mysteriously disappeared. And now in 2026, there's still been no wreckage found from Flight 19. I think that makes this case very interesting. All right. Another case is the USS Cyclops. This happened in 1918. A large Navy cargo ship was traveling through. There was more than 300 on this boat. Um, at one point in the trip, the ship completely disappeared. There was also no wreckage ever found on from this ship either, and this is one of the largest losses of life. This event in U.S. Navy history, other than from like a war. Because of this disappearance and this other disappearance, with no explanation as to what happened, it adds more mystery to the Bermuda Triangle. All right. This is the case that is the most interesting to me. It is the witchcraft boat case. This happened in 1967. The captain on the boat of the witchcraft boat called in assistance, and he said that he thought he hit something in the water. The Coast Guard was called out and responded very quickly. But when they arrived to where they picked up their location, there was no one there when they got there. And also, again, there was no wreckage found. And with the quickness of the response, and the boat being so close to shore, makes this case about the Bermuda Triangle very interesting to me as well. All right. Scientists and researchers have studied this area for years, and most of them have came up with their own explanation. Some of them believe that the Bermuda Triangle, or they say that the Bermuda Triangle has about the same amount of disappearances or cases as any other heavily traveled area in the water. Some scientists believe that it's weather. In that area of the Atlantic Ocean, there are a lot of like abrupt weather changes, the tornadoes, things that happen in the water. So some scientists believe that it's just things happening with the water that causes all of this. So I appreciate you guys listening to me today about the Bermuda Triangle. Today I went over um, like what is interesting about the Bermuda Triangle, where it's located, why it still kind of remains a mystery. Um, and I just think that it's fascinating. And it's very interesting to just hear about things that have happened in this one area of the ocean. Sometimes the scariest part isn't what we know, but it's what we cannot explain. Thank you for listening today.